Great controversy, page 53. In the early part of the 4th century, the Emperor Constantine issued a decree making Sunday a public festival throughout the Roman Empire. Now, why am I going back to these points? Some of you might remember Pete Hegseth.
This is a Fox News alert right now. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth is addressing top military leaders in Quantico. Let's listen in.
This crowd knows that. The origin dates to the 4th century of Rome and has been repeated ever since, including by our first commander-in-chief, George Washington, the first leader of the War Department.
Now, again, where do these principles of war come from? We've learned about how it's the dragon wanting to make war, and they come from ancient Rome. And there is a war being made, Revelation chapter 12, verse 17, the war against the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of God. That we've looked into all of this, and we understand that Sunday is a big part, and this revolves around Constantine, and particularly this sign, which is a Knights Templar sign, a Freemason sign, in hoc signo vincis. It comes from the papacy. It comes from ancient Roman Emperor Constantine. It says, by this sign you shall conquer, which is a translation of the Latin in hoc signo vincis, coming from the legend of the Roman Emperor Constantine. And so this is about a battle. And so in 321 AD, Roman Emperor issued a law making Sunday a public day of rest, which wasn't solely for Christian worship, but also honored the existing pagan tradition of the Day of the Sun. Carlson is realizing that they're going to use this, Charlie Kirk, use it to take away our First Amendment rights.
You hope that Charlie Kirk's death won't be used by a group we now call bad actors to create a society that was the opposite of the one he worked to build. You hope that. You hope that a year from now, the turmoil we're seeing in the aftermath of his murder won't be leveraged to bring hate speech laws to this country. And trust me, if it is, if that does happen, there is never a more justified moment for civil disobedience than that, ever. And there never will be. Because if they can tell you what to say, they're telling you what to think. There is nothing they can't do to you because they don't consider you human. They don't believe you have a soul. A human being with a soul, a free man, has a right to say what he believes, not to hurt other people, but to express his views.
And that's part of the First Amendment rights that come with not just expressing your views, not just being able to speak, but also to worship according to the dictates of your conscience. And that's what the First Amendment promises. And of course, we've been over some of this already this week. And some of you might know about what's happening in different places like Memphis, Tennessee. They're deploying National Guard right now to mobilize for anti-crime deployment. This is yesterday's news, right? So this is in all the cities. They want it in 50 states right now. They want the National Guard. They want armies. And what does it say in Ministry of Healing? Those who hold the reins of government are unable to solve the problem of poverty, pauperism, and increasing crime. So are they going to solve this issue, Donald Trump, by sending the National Guard into all these states to do these things? We're told they are struggling in vain to place business operations on a more secure basis. Business operations, what does it mean by business operations? Buying, selling, right, exactly. Business operations, right? So they're not going to be able to hold up in this time when the crime begins to come. In Canada right now, we have people that walk into the liquor stores and they walk out with a whole bag of liquor and other things, and the police just stand right by and watch them walk out while they do these things. In California, in many places, this is happening right now. They can't stop the crime. And so they're going to send the National Guard. You know, what happened in Rome was that as the Republic began to fall, they implemented an imperial police state to protect against crime because people stopped governing themselves. And that's what the Constitution guarantees to us, is the right to self-government. And so in this situation now, because people don't govern themselves, they're going to be governed, just as they did during the fall of Rome. There's nothing new under the sun. This is again Ellen White. She says, "Year long there will be such strife and confusion in the cities that those who wish to leave them will not be able to. We must be preparing for these issues. This is the light that is given me. We must be preparing for these issues. We need to prepare. In India, China, Russia, and the cities of America, thousands of men and women are dying of starvation. The moneyed men, because they have the power. Some of us have seen the moneyed men. Who are the moneyed men? The bankers, the Rothschilds, the Larry Ellisons, the Elon Musks, the Donald Trumps. The moneyed men, because they have the power, control the market. They purchase at low rates all that they can obtain and then sell at greatly increased prices. This means starvation to the poor classes and will result in a civil war. You know what was trending on Twitter yesterday? Civil war. And it's been trending quite frequently on some of these social media networks. We're in a time where there is coming a civil war. But we were told about this many, many years before it came to pass.